Hello. Whoa. Also, hello, Decade. That threw me off everything I was just about to do.
Oh,
Yeah, we can. I can hear you.
Okay,
oh,
I made it.
Welcome
you.
everyone to the Toku Portal podcast. Grab your Jolly Rancher, freaking gemstones,
That's
and let's
right. That's
sparkle.
right. That's right. We were calling them Jolly Ranchers. Oh, hey, I'm Ry.
And
I am
I'm
VashieV.
Welcome back to Mashin Sentai Kiramager, episode 11. We have returned. Uh, Decade. We didn't realize you were joining us tonight.
yeah, I made it.
Uh, uh,
Good to
you're
be
a
back.
little quiet. Any way you could turn yourself up?
I can get closer to the mic. Let's see. Yeah, I think I have my input on max.
Well,
So, Decade, you haven't been on the podcast for any of Mashin's Kiramager, have you?
I think I've been in a few episodes,
I
but
think a couple episodes early on.
yeah.
So, since you've not been here for a fair bit of it, real quickly, what are your thoughts on the series as a whole so far?
It's a lot of fun. I'm definitely enjoying it. Um, it's definitely a nice break from the real serious, heart-wrenching seasons we've been getting. So
This
I'm okay with this.
this is very much a drastic shift from
Hey,
that.
Vashi and I have decided that this is a parody series.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like watching it, it's one of the only ways for the show to come across as serious is if it's a parody. Otherwise, what the hell happened?
There would be a lot of decisions that would be really stupid unless you look at it like uh this is just satire.
Yep, just have fun with it. Enjoy the
Yeah,
ride.
just have fun with it. No need to take this one seriously. You got your super serious Key Ranger about the inevitable heat death of the universe. You got your super serious drama about cops versus robbers. You got your super serious war against Mother Nature. Let's just have fun with this one.
Boy, is it great!
Uh, so, uh, you remember that episode of X-Aid where Emu and Nico played Tekken against each other?
That's literally all I could think of.
Okay.
Oh wow, we have zero for a Sentai podcast.
Yeah,
Welcome,
Zero,
zero.
do you realize we're doing Kiramager tonight?
That I did not realize.
Uh,
My bad.
uh,
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll come back tomorrow then. What the hell? So we're not doing writer?
uh, because you
Tomorrow.
said it was mostly a clip show, right? So
Yeah, it's pretty much a clip show until like the last 2 minutes.
yeah, so I didn't think we needed to do a separate podcast on that.
That's fair.
So
I mean, like we could tag it at the end of this if you guys want to do that, but whatever. I'll be around. Let me know.
Well, I have an idea before you leave, since
Okay.
most people are here. We could do it this weekend and tag it on to Reiwa, since TV Nihon has released the Reiwa, the first.
that's
movie.
right, they did that.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. Let's do that instead. Keep all the writer stuff contained. Fair enough. Yeah, sorry about interrupting your podcast, people.
That's fine. You're welcome to stick around and listen to us talk about Kiramager.
Yeah, I'll probably listen to it, but I won't be in the podcast because I'll interrupt your flow otherwise. Yeah, sorry, continue.
All right. So, uh, like I was saying, so that there was that episode of X-Aid where Emu and Nico play Tekken against each other. This one opens up similarly. It's Mashin Yellow, I forget his name.
Tamateo.
Tamatemo. Playing against someone that is definitely not Taiga. in Soul Calibur. uh, he's got the bangs. That's what it is. Okay.
Yeah. Everything else is just disturbing.
Everything else is just. I guess he's supposed to be like a ghost.
Like when I saw it, it was like my brain went from from Nico initially to Taiga to the goth chick from Fours.
Oh
This is
yeah.
their love child. If they had a baby, that would be this
Yeah,
weird gamer guy.
What an odd way to start this episode.
And like Tamitomo isn't even playing his main, so he wins just by screwing around.
Which I get the whole aspect of why the guy had the problem with that. Even if... Because it was one of those that comes across like Tamateo wasn't entirely...
He wasn't taking it seriously, and it's like this is super insulting to lose to.
But he didn't realize he wasn't taking it seriously. It's like he wasn't doing it intentionally to screw around. It was just one of those. I can win with this guy, so I'm going to win with this guy.
I can play someone else and win. Yeah.
Right. It was just more one of those. Yeah. Okay. Well, I can do this. So, not that the outcome changes.
Decade. How do you feel about this guy ripping Tamitomo's hair off his head to place a curse on him?
That was a bit creepy, but other than that, this weird gamer guy was actually acted pretty well, so that was at least well done.
Even if it was just pure entertainment aspect of it, because I don't really know anybody who acts like this in real life ever, and that was the group of people I was most associated with. I knew some
girls. I knew some girls in high school who acted like this.
The cursing thing and all that. Yeah, it's like I've dealt with that. It's like, but just that over the top, I haven't.
Yeah, no, they thought that that's how they were acting, and it wasn't. So Tamitomo returns to base, where Sina gets mad at him for no reason. Well, she gets mad at him but doesn't explain that, like, she lost her wallet, which is under the couch. Sorry, I dropped something. And then, surprise Kirame quiz. It's one of the gemstones' birthday. The day that they gained sentience.
So, real quick, we have a comment if you can turn up Decade's volume.
I literally cannot. That's why I asked Decade if he could.
I will talk really loudly then. And maybe that will help.
Yeah, so it's Helico, the Pink Gem's birthday today. And the director, I forget it. It's been so long, I forget everyone's names. The director comes in with a cake. I don't imagine the gemstones need to eat, but it's still a nice sentiment.
Right, because that making the cake includes everybody else. A side note: the comment says yes, that is better.
Okay.
So have fun yelling the entire podcast, Decade.
Okay, I will.
We get our monster of the week. He's got... His head is like a globe, and he's got the infinity symbol on it with 2 mass on it. And a button on the side. And so his whole gimmick is that he is reset button Jamenshi. Whenever his button is pressed, he triggers a save state and reloads back to when he first arrived on Earth with his memories. So when the Kiramagers go to fight him again, he learns from the past and he gets stronger for it. The catch, though, is that Tametomo is also remembering everything. So he's resetting to the moment that the guy rips his hair out, and is super confused at first about, wait, didn't I do this already?
Which and they did a very good job of explaining why Tametono was involved in this, in the fact of the first time it happens, he accidentally hit the button. Which I'm glad that they covered. Given the nature of the show, they could have easily not explained it, and it would have played just as well. But the fact that they took the effort to explain, yeah, no, he's involved in this too because he hit the button.
I do like that Tametono first suspects that it was the curse that did it. Like, he was actually cursed.
And the fact that he ran with that for way longer than he should have. I mean,
He was
literally,
super confident. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got this. I'm not cursed anymore. It's all good."
Oh no, I'm still
And-
cursed!
shit.
And,
That's what he gets for thinking.
like, every other reset, he remembers to stop the guy from ripping out his hair.
Like there are smart details with this episode that show that this series will go the extra mile to, keep things accurate and the continuity decently enough. And also, I really, since we've had such a break between this, I really want to point out that I just love the monster design, the Monster of the Week designs. They're fantastic.
Not only that, but just his attitude. Like, he's super cocky and he's like strutting around thinking he's the best ever. It's just so entertaining.
Well, in theory, he should be. In theory. The shit goes downhill for him this particular episode. So he kind of screwed himself on that on accident. But yeah, it's like in theory he should be one of the, general level villains. But because he made an error, he's back down here. Well, currently 6 feet under, but don't take your ball and go home.
I just realized something. The monster's suit design is pretty much the same as the grunts.
Most of them are. Most of them are, except for the coloring.
I did
And
not realize that.
the cape color. Yeah, it's like they're all very similar. It's like the only real difference to them is the head and the color of the spandex.
So, Tamitomo finds out that the guy is retiring from professional gaming to take over his family's soba restaurant. So this was his last match. Tamitono is like, yeah, but why are you cursing me? I beat you fair and square. To which the guy's like, but were you fighting seriously? Were you taking that? Was that for real?
The guy who cursed was like, I understand the sentiment that he has for that and why it pissed him off. Because if you're doing something to this level of programming and whatnot, it's like, and you're facing off against one of the best, whether or not you intend to win or not, if it's your last match, you want it to be, I'm going against the best as the best, not I'm going against the best who's half-assing it. I completely side with him on that. Which is the reverse of Nico, I guess?
Nico is just super petty.
Yeah. Yeah, she was.
She mooches off of a doctor without his license for months just for a chance at a rematch.
and then continues to do so to get a rematch against the person who had actually wronged her, not the one who did, or not the one she thought.
And then, when all is said and done, she pieces out to America.
With her new boyfriend. I'm glad that that's not anything that's played out in this episode.
So, eventually Tamatomo realizes that it's the reset button, what the reset button is. Like, he figures that out. And so we get a montage of constant resets where Tamatomo, like, trying to best him. And him and the Jamenshi are both, like, competing against each other as they're like, man, every time the reset happens, the other guy gets stronger.
And, like, Tametono figuring out the whole, well, if I just wreck his crap really quick, he's not going to learn anything.
That comes later, though.
Oh. My bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, eventually Tametono is so upset that Jiro's like, I should cheer him up, and draws him a picture of him being serious. And it's like, yeah, when you get serious, you can solve anything. Tomo's like, yeah, but I already tried being serious. And Jiro's like, really? And then Tametono starts to consider some things and thinks like, I wasn't serious in that match in that Soul Calibur match. So he gets a rematch going, but he does play his main this time, and has a flawless victory. To which the other guy's like, alright, I lost, but that was a genuine match, so I can be satisfied with that.
Another point of the episode that I have a problem with. It's only a small one.
That doesn't matter because it gets reset.
Well, one, yes. Two, he literally goes, hey, look, the monster's attacking. I'm going to go play video games.
I think
in an aspect of, like, I get the purpose of it, and, like, the character building and growth for him on that. It was just really odd for them to do it that way. I understand there wasn't a big window of time that it could have been done before they fought the monster, but they could have literally done this at the end of the episode, and to me it would have felt better.
The point of him doing it before fighting the monster was for his own growth of, like, I need to be serious if I'm going to defeat my opponent. And so the idea of him getting the flawless victory, like, I didn't take any damage, was his like, motivation of, like, that's how I can beat the monster.
Right. And I completely understand that. And I'm fine with that. It was just in the back of my head, I'm like, this would work better at the end in terms of, like, wrapping up that aspect of the storyline rather than doing this and then it resets and it doesn't matter that happened.
Decade, what do you think?
Actually, yeah, the timing was a bit weird, but overall I really liked how it turned out, because when I saw Juru, getting inspired and drawing, I thought, okay, we're just gonna do the cheesy thing and give Yellow a power-up, but he actually gives him really good advice and helps him develop his character, so I thought that was awesome. And the background music was pretty good too, when he's giving him a speech. So, yeah, Juru's a pretty good red.
He's a lot better of a red than I was expecting. Like, the you're making thing is still kind of drawing on me a bit.
Right.
It hasn't reached the point of I'm okay with it, and it may not, considering the fact of, as far as I watched into Ninja, the whole I'm on fire thing, or I'm fired up. Though for different reasons, for entirely different reasons on that one, it never grew on me to the point where it felt okay, until I'd gone back and watched like the last two episodes. And I'm
Here's
like,
the
okay,
thing.
it works.
Well, here's the thing about him saying I'm on fire. Uh, when the show started, because I just recently watched all of Ninja. When the show started out, he would say it, and like he would say it kind of normally because he's still getting used to the character. But then when he gets used to the character is when him saying it gets annoying.
Right. It's like it comes off weird, mainly because it changes like halfway through the show.
By the end
And
of
then-
it doesn't matter anymore because you're not really paying him any attention anymore.
Right. Like it just seemed at really odd places, like in odd. It was just came across as really odd. Though when I went back and watched the last two episodes, I'm like, okay, yeah, that works here. That I'm fine with it now. Granted, it's been years since I watched that.
So
The you're making thing, it's just weird to me. Like nothing about it to me comes across as natural. Like at all. And unfortunately we had to take a break from it, so I was unprepared for when it happened, and I'm like, this is awkward again.
it never bothered me. So Tomitona's plan is to, as soon as the reset happens, gun it straight for the Jamenshi and attack him before he even gets a chance to attack any civilians. And just keep going on him hard. And no matter how many times the reset happens, just keeps it up and prevents the Jamenshi from being able to do anything. And so the Jamenshi doesn't even have time to learn from his mistakes or grow from anything. Like, anything he tries, like, I'm gonna grab a shield or I'm gonna have grunts block me, no, none of it works. He has no time to get an actual plan together until he's finally broken. And he gives up. And he takes his button and he gives it to Tomitono and he leaves. He didn't take his ball and went home. No, he gave his ball to the other kid and left.
And like I said, like I feel this is a much better broken villain, which is exceedingly rare in Sentai. To the last one that I felt was a broken villain was, Jelashita, who was broken for entirely different reasons. This was just he just wore him down, and he's like, "That's it, I'm done. I'm leaving to the point of I'm leaving the Yodam army. I'm done. I'm out." Fuck
Which Gairuza isn't going to allow.
Well, he's out of the army. He's out of a lot of things now, but yeah, he succeeded in leaving the army.
Decade?
Yeah, it was pretty satisfying watching him get his confidence crushed, and the little references when Tomatomo is jumping off Chevalo to blast him, like they had a Re-Soldier reference.
K-boom!
That's right. I was
That
just like,
unexpected.
what?
Unexpected but satisfying.
K-boom!
Like, the one thing I like about this show is, like, because, again, I'm just like you guys, I grew up on the American Power Rangers. Where one of the first things they're taught, don't escalate the battles. And he just goes, no, screw it, I'm just going to use my mech for this.
I was never told not to do this.
Like, it was one of those, I'm like, oh,
Get
he
the
can't ever
job
be a real
done
Power
as
Ranger.
fast as possible. That is the current mission statement.
It's fucking great. I love it.
Yeah.
Because, like, this makes more sense of use of a mech of, doing things that would be normal or out of normality for what we're used to. Over, I'm sad and irritated, so let's go drive my giant mech car around the town. Which is what Cream did earlier in the series.
So the Jamenju, the giant one they send, has like a million missiles strapped to his face. So if he pushes his button, the fight is over. So going back to that whole end the fight as soon as possible, Tomitono is just like, alright, right into the finisher, summon the bullet train, we're gonna ride it like a surfboard.
We're gonna use Deno's finisher. Only he read the train instead of the tracks.
So they, and one of the few times where jumping straight to the finisher will actually work.
Yeah.
They ended in one shot.
See, this right here is one of those things that Kiramager didn't figure out. They never figured out. There are very, very few instances where giant monster, giant mech, instant finisher, where it works. This is one of the very, very few. Kiramager was, oh yeah, we have to put a mech fight into this, don't we? Let's have it show up and blast a monster and be done. But the one thing I did like that they kind of paid attention to is like when the rest of the team shows up, he's already wrecked the monster and they've sent the thing. He's like, a big one already?
And he's just like, let's go, let's go!
He's just like, time's wasted, let's go.
And then he thanks Juru for his advice, and Juru's just like, wait, what advice?
Because, that point in time doesn't exist anymore. Then we get, the last joke of the episode.
Guess whose Gem's birthday it is today? And Tomato's like, wait, what did we reset again? Nope, it's, the Green Gem's birthday. I forget what it's called. Mach. So, he was born, he came to sentience, rather, one day after Helico.
At which point we get, the most epic juror frustration thing ever. I'm going to do the shovel dance. So fucking weird. Like, I've seen people get frustrated. I've never seen anybody ever do that. I'm waiting for Jiro to get frustrated and just start going like this. Because if they're going to follow the trend, because let's face it, this is Kiramager, they're probably going to at this point.
And we end on a note of Mabushina having a vision of the sixth Kiramager, who is revealed in the next episode preview, so I'm just going to say it, Kirame Silver.
I'm still not happy about the silver aspect. I don't think I'll ever be okay with that.
The worst part for me is that the suits look awesome every time.
They do, and this suit is growing on me a little bit more. Especially, again, more seeing it in action than scans, because that's always the case with me. Ever since X-Aid. I've learned since X-Aid not to judge the image.
Right, that was a wake-up call.
But there's aspects of it that seem weird, like the fact that his goggles can come off. That is a very odd suit aesthetic that I'm interested in. Not that there's really going to be much to it, I'm sure. But the fact that we're getting it 12 episodes is a little earlier than normal.
No, but it still doesn't beat the introduction of the sixth member at episode 6.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Alright, so Decade, first impressions of Kirame Silver.
Well, the suit, I do like the suit. Kind of reminds me of Boken Silver. He's like silver with some orange and blue. As far as the character, he seems interesting. Yeah, we could either love him or hate him. Or not care about him. We'll see.
Go ahead.
He has a drill, so maybe that's why Mabushina's afraid of him, because he's got a giant freaking jackhammer.
for me is like that was the big aspect of it that kind of made me harken back to Bokenger.
Yeah, I was
Mainly
thinking like
because like all of their like for Bokenger, all of their weapons were stuff that you can use on an adventure
right,
of some sort. And Silver's, instead of it being a jackhammer, Silver's there was
a metal
a
detector.
metal detector, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it drills a little, drill jackhammer thing is a little
But like you're
different.
right, he does give off Boken Silver vibes.
Like, and I haven't seen much of Boken Silver because I didn't really watch much of Bokenger.
Oh, I
I've
can
seen enough
recommend.
to know that he exists and some of the fights he's been in. Character wise, not a damn thing. Um, but it, in the preview, it actually looks a lot better than I was expecting it to. It's also very shiny, which is fitting for this particular series. Whose tagline when they transform is "Let's sparkle," and boy does he sparkle.
Um, and so, as usual, we get this series does a little like mid credits cut to a gag, and this week's gag is Tametono wondering what to do with the button, the reset button, uh, panicking that somebody might press it, and I love it. I love it.
And immediately Mabashino goes, "Let's use it in a game show,"
No.
and he jerks it away before she can hit it. I will admit, it's like I've been looking forward to their mid credits things because they're usually a wonderful gag.
I think one of the funniest gags was earlier when they're doing the Gattai sequence, and Tamatoma tells Helico happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Oh, that's
How
right.
did you know my birthday? And then Maha's like, oh, maybe he's fallen in love with you and looked it up.
And Jenna's just like, wait, seriously? Shovelo,
No, stop
no. Like, that's what's been missing from the gems. Interaction.
Right, like, and as much as they push the sentience of it, that is something that is sorely lacking. Like there's interaction between the gems and the team, so long as the episode requires it. Like it's usually very much plot driven for when they do it. This particular one, literally just being for a gag, is amazing, and just having them interact as comrades rather than tools or a whiny petulant child who wants to be read.
Alright.
Yes, that was a stab at Shovelo.
Alright. I gotta get going, so I'm gonna end this here. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We're gonna try and be back this weekend to do a Kamen Rider movie review, and we should be back to our regularly scheduled programming next week. So thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening.